Now to Los Angeles, we have Hillery Nye standing by. She's in Seattle, actually, digital media attorney. You can also follow her at Madrona Law. Pleasure to have you back on the program again.
It's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so tell us, Consumer's Guide to iTunes, its new 56-page terms of use. Who is going to read through all of that? And if you did, would you even understand it? Can you please break it down for us?
Well, let me tell you, Kimberly, you have hit the nail on the head, because I think the real issue is here. Is it reasonable for a consumer to actually read a 56-page document before they log into iTunes or start using their iPhone? And so I think the issue is, gosh, now are these things enforceable? Is this the right way for folks to be doing business? And I don't mean to pick up on Apple. I mean, I think there are a lot of services and businesses who do something very, very similar, but the bottom line is, as a consumer, do I really know what I'm buying? Do I really know what I'm signing on to? And to the extent that these online services get to create their own rules for engagement, how much should we be monitoring that, and how much should we be concerned?
All right, well, this is what people want to know. If you're going to check the box, yes, are you establishing a contract between yourself and Apple when you do that in the iTunes section?
That is the perfect question, because I think that's really the issue, because in the law there is this thing called a contract of adhesion, and an adhesion contract means that a consumer really doesn't have an opportunity to negotiate or to in any way change the terms that are forced on them in order to get a particular product. And the courts say those contracts are okay. I mean, we get them every day when we go to a parking lot, just so that, those little tags that say, hey, we're not liable if your car gets smashed in our parking garage, or if somebody comes and steals something out of your vehicle. So the courts say we still enforce those things, but they have to be reasonable. And they have to be reasonable not just in their exact terms, but also how somebody enters into that agreement. So it's called procedural reasonableness as well as substantive reasonableness. And that's why you have to click. There was a period of time when they were just sort of posted in the back somewhere. And that's considered procedurally reasonable. Now the issue is also whether or not those terms are reasonable to the average consumer. And I think there's been a lot of debate recently around privacy, and Apple has a spotlight on that. And part of their defense is that these contracts are reasonable, and that consumers know what they're getting when they buy an Apple product, and are voluntarily waiving some rights to their privacy.
Yeah, I mean, it gets very complicated, and it's even if you're an attorney like you are, like I am, still it's a lot to decipher and get through. This is your area of expertise, and you're even saying that this is something that is a tricky issue. But nevertheless, people are going to be bound by this. It does create, a contract, it seems. But like you said, the big issue is it fair? Is it reasonable? Ultimately, will they enforce it?
Exactly. And, is it reasonable also to have a contract that has so many internal links going off to other places? So not only do you have to read this thing that you have to click through, but it's also subject to terms of use, for example, or privacy policies or content guidelines. So it's not just a matter of reading what it is that you click, but all the other pages within that site that may impact your rights and responsibilities. And so is that fair? And frankly, I think writing end-user agreements is just about the worst task for a lawyer there is, because you actually know in your heart of hearts, really, that not everybody's going to read them, not everybody's going to understand them, but they're sure going to be paying a lot of attention to them if they ever go to court.
Oh boy, is that not the truth? I never thought about it from that perspective, the attorneys that draft these agreements that are just totally out there.
It's a thankless job.
Consumers,
a thankless job.
That are just like, what is this? I just want to download some tunes. You can't make it up.
Exactly.
All right, well, sounds good. Read it for sure, because you might be bound by it, especially if you check that innocent-looking box that says, yes, I agree to the terms. Great job.
And don't be surprised, Yeah, and don't be surprised if they just come and get your firstborn, because you did agree to it. So.
There is that problem too.
That would be
that
unfortunate
wrinkle,
for
that
everybody.
complication. Exactly. Hillery Nye, great to have you with us, digital media attorney at Madrona Law Group.